Good morning, dears. Today we are moving on to the next chapter in botany, which is included under the field of biotechnology itself, that is biotechnology and its applications. So in the previous classes we have studied what are the tools and techniques or the processes included under the field of biotechnology in detail. So in this chapter we are going to discuss the what are its applications. So as we know that the biotechnology can be applied in the field of medicines and also in the field of agriculture and all. So it is mainly for the production of biopharmaceuticals and also certain biological products, certain biologicals by using the microorganism, the genetically modified microorganisms like plants, animals, fungi and bacteria and all these organisms. So these organisms are genetically modified. That means their genes can be altered or manipulated by using the techniques of recombinant DNA technology and all that we have studied in our previous class. So that is done by for the production of some biopharmaceutical and also certain other biological products. Okay. And mainly the application of biotechnology includes the production of therapeutics, then diagnostics, production of genetically modified crops for agriculture and for processing of food, bioremediation, water treatment and energy production. All these are included under the application of biotechnology, and there are certain research areas under biotechnology. There are three areas: providing the best catalyst in the form of an improved organism or usually a microbe or an enzyme. Okay, that is the first importance of researchers in biotechnology. It will provide the best catalyst in the form of improved organisms such as enzymes or any microbes. And the second one is creating optimal conditions for engineering for a catalyst. That is the second important point. And the third one is downstream processing technology to purify the proteins or the desired product. These are the three major researches included under the biotechnological applications. And next we are moving on to what are the biotechnological applications in the field of agriculture. Okay, so biotechnological applications in agriculture. The first one is agrochemical based agriculture. Agrochemicals. What is agrochemicals? The fertilizers and pesticides included under the for the agriculture. The fertilizers and pesticides for the agricultures are called as the agrochemicals. And the second one is organic agriculture. Organic agriculture. And the third one is genetically engineered crop based agriculture. Genetically engineered crop based agriculture. These are the three important areas which is included under the application of biotechnology for an increased food production, for the enhancement of food production. The production of agrochemicals, then organic agriculture and genetically engineered crop based agriculture. So these are the most important application of biotechnology in the field of agriculture. As we know that through green revolution, the food production is increased around 3 times, but it is not satisfied the increase with the increase of human population. So there should be an alternative for the enhanced food production to satisfy the human needs, so that the farmers are moved to a manipulation of the food production, like the use of agrochemicals like fertilizers and pesticide, and also the conventional breeding and all. So these all techniques are not enough to satisfy the enhanced food production for the future generation, so that it should need an alternative technique or extraordinary technique to produce the food in a more quantity, so that the genetic engineering or the biotechnological applications are adopted by the farmers, so that the genetically modified crops are introduced, and the major benefit of this genetically modified crops are it will not cause any damage to the environment, like the pesticides and chemicals like fertilizers will cause certain damages to the environment. So by using the genetically modified organism or the genetically modified crops, it will not cause such kind of effects, and also it will give more yield and the expense is very low. So by using the agrochemicals like fertilizers and pesticide, the expense of farmers are getting higher and the yield is getting low. So by using this genetically modified crops, all these are controlled. The plants, fungi, bacteria and animals whose genes have been altered by manipulation is called as genetically modified organism. Okay, so what is a genetically modified organism? The plants, bacteria, fungi, animals, all these organisms have been modified, or the genes of these organisms are modified or manipulated, and they will form to a genetically modified organism. So by the production of genetically modified organism like plants and animals, there are certain uses in many ways. The genetically modified organisms are useful in many ways. The first one is made the crops more tolerant to abiotic stresses. So the genetic modification of plants made the crops more resistant or more tolerant to the abiotic stresses like temperature, then salt, drought, cold, all these conditions. So the crop will become more tolerant. And the second most important thing about genetic modified crop is reduced reliance on pesticides. That means the pest resistant crops. And the third important thing is it helps to reduce post-harvest losses. Sometimes after harvesting there may occur losses due to some contamination and all. So that kind of loss can be reduced or it can be avoided. Okay, and the next thing is increased efficiency of mineral usage by plants. In plants it increases the efficiency of mineral usage. And the last important thing about the genetically modified crops are enhance the nutritional value of food. This is the most important value, that means the enhancement of nutritional value of food. For example, some rices are genetically modified to increase the vitamin A content. So it is more beneficial and more nutritious for us. So these are the major advantages or the usefulness of these genetically modified crops. And next, one of the major important area, that is the production of pest resistant plants, so that the plants are become resistant to the pest, so that the use of chemical pesticides can be reduced. Okay, there is a toxin called Bt toxin. Bt toxin, which is produced by a bacterium called Bacillus thuringiensis. Bacillus thuringiensis. They produces a toxin called Bt toxin. It is an insecticide. It is a natural insecticide which is produced within the bacteria called Bacillus thuringiensis. And this Bt toxin expressing genes are cloned from the bacteria and it is incorporated to a certain plants. So that what will happen? The plants will become insect resistant. So it is a natural method to resist the insect by plant so that the use of insecticides can be reduced. The Bt toxin expressing genes from the bacteria Bacillus thuringiensis have been cloned and it is incorporated to a host or incorporated to a plant so that the plant will become insect resistant. So this effect is caused by the biopesticide, and the plants that are genetically engineered with the introduction of Bt toxin are Bt cotton, Bt corn, rice, tomato, potato, soya bean, etc. All these can be altered or manipulated by introducing an insect resistant toxin called Bt toxin. Okay, and next we are moving on to what are the importance of Bt cotton in more detail. Bt cotton. Bt means it is the short form of Bacillus thuringiensis. Bt cotton. What are the importance and peculiarities of Bt cotton? Some strains of the bacteria Bacillus thuringiensis will have the protein will produce the resistant, or it have the ability to kill the insects like Lepidopteran, Coleopteran and Dipterans. The Lepidopterans include tobacco budworm, armyworm, and the Coleopteran includes the beetles and the Dipteran includes flies and mosquitoes. So some strains of this Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria have the proteins to kill these kinds of insects. The Bacillus thuringiensis forms certain protein crystals during their growth, certain period of their growth. Okay, so they form, Bacillus thuringiensis will form certain protein crystals during a particular period of their growth, and these crystals contain a toxic insecticidal protein. Okay, insecticidal proteinaceous crystals are produced by who? Produced by the Bacillus thuringiensis. And there is a question whether it cause any harmful effect for the bacteria itself. That means if there is any negative effect for the Bacillus thuringiensis by this toxic protein, no, there is no effect because it is in an inactive stage or a protoxin stage within the bacteria. It is called as protoxin, which is an inactive stage within the bacteria. So when it is ingested by another insect, it will become active within the body of the insect only. Okay, so it will not cause any harmful, any damage to the host organism, that means the Bacillus thuringiensis organism. And while the insect consume or ingest this protoxin, this inactive protoxin, it will become active within the gut of within the alkaline pH of the gut of the insect. So due to the presence of alkaline pH within the gut of the insect, this inactive protoxin become active and it solubilizes the proteinaceous crystal. As I told you that the protein crystals are present in the form of toxins or insecticide within the Bacillus thuringiensis, and while the insect ingests this protein or this crystal, it will become active and these crystals are solubilized within the alkaline pH of the gut of the insect. and this time the protoxin became active and it will bind to the surface of the midgut epithelial cells of the insect, and this will leads to creation of pores and eventually the cell swelling and lysis. So eventually the insect will die. Okay, this is the process in Bt cotton. That means when the Bacillus thuringiensis produces the protoxin, which is in inactive form, that is a proteinaceous crystal, and when when the insect ingests this protoxin, it will become active within the alkaline pH of the gut of the insect, and it will bind with the epithelial cells of the insect, and eventually forms the cell swelling and lysis, and then the death of the insect. This is the insecticidal property of Bacillus thuringiensis toxin in Bt cotton. This Bt toxin is incorporated, or it is isolated from the Bacillus thuringiensis, and it is transferred to certain host organisms like cotton, brinjal and all. So choice of the gene is based upon the target pest and also the crop. Okay, these are the major concern of which organism is to be prevented, and most Bt toxins are insect group specific. And the most important thing is the toxin is coded by a gene called Cry gene. Cry gene. This toxin is coded by Cry gene. This gene is called the toxic protein. Okay, and there are many proteins that is encoded by this gene. The proteins are Cry1AC and Cry2AB. These two control the cotton bollworms. These two proteins control the cotton bollworm, and Cry1AB controls corn borer. Cry1AB controls corn borer. So there are certain proteins which is called by Cry gene. Okay, so it is target and host specific. And there is a picture given in your textbook, that is cotton ball destroyed by bollworm. So such kind of activity of insects can be prevented by incorporating the gene, Cry gene, or the protein that is called for insect resistant to the plant, so that the plant will become insect resistant without causing any harmful effect to the environment like pesticides and insecticides. Okay, that is the importance of biotechnology or the genetically modified crops. So this is all about today's class, and the rest we will take in our next class. Okay, thank you.